Let us discuss the next question. This is from the year 2020. One common agreement between Gandhism and Marxism is the final goal of a stateless society, class struggle, abolition of private property, economic determinism. So here we have to find the common agreement between Gandhi and Marx. For that we need to understand and look into their ideology a little. Now what did Gandhi tell when it comes to the village, when it comes to the state? What was his idea? What was his worldview? For Gandhi, villages had to be the important centers. He wanted to create the idea of Ramarajyas in the villages because Gandhi felt India is a country where the village is the main focus. So he said that India lives in its villages. So for him, village was an important entity where he wanted to make villages as an self-reliant villages. They are not dependent on anyone else. They are dependent on themselves for all their own needs. So ultimately, he also felt that the state, the government is an instrument of oppression which will try to oppress the freedoms of the people. So he wanted to give more power to village. That is why one of the Gandhian principles in the DPSPs is promoting the village panchayat so that ultimately the village can become a self-reliant entity. And when it comes to the property, Gandhi didn't say you have to abolish the private property. He just asked the rich people to keep the property in trust. He gave the concept of trusteeship and he told the rich people, you have to think that you are not the owners of your property, but you are keeping them as a trustee and you have to use your riches and the wealth that you have for the welfare of the people. And for Gandhi, the relationships in the economy are not purely economic based. People are mostly connected with spirituality, people are mostly connected with non-violence and love. Whereas Marx, on the other hand, his ideology was there are rich people, there are poor people. It is a capitalist class, the rich people, who will oppress and exploit the workers, the poor people. And the words were the bourgeoisie and the proletariat. So he wants the capitalist people's oppression to go away. For that, he wants the abolition of private property. And what Marx suggested, a violent revolution by the working class throw away the capitalist class. So he suggested for violent revolution by the working class to throw away the capitalist people, ultimately leading to the benefits and the wealth being taken by everyone and not just the capitalist and rich class. So for that he told class struggle is important. For that he told abolition of private property is important. And ultimately he also wanted a place where the state is not there because he felt the state or the government is an instrument of oppression in the hands of the rich people. So he said the rich people use the government and state to oppress the poor people. So he also wanted a state where the state itself doesn't exist. Both of them are anarchists. Anarchy is where the state doesn't exist. So that way both Gandhi and Marx were anarchists. Now what is economic determinism? The word might sound very difficult when you read it, but it's not. Look at the meaning. Economic determinism. That is, economics determines. So in other words, it is the economic relationships which determines everything. So this is an idea of Karl Marx where he felt the whole relationships and interactions in the society are based purely on economic relationships. So now let us look at the statements after we have briefly looked at their ideologies. Now the question is asking about the common agreement between Gandhi and Marx. The final goal of a stateless society. Yes, ultimately Gandhi also wanted a stateless society where the villages are given supreme power, and Marx also wanted a stateless society, but in a different context where he told the state has to be overthrown so that the working class can take out the power. Because the state is an instrument in the hands of the rich people, it has to go away. So both of them agreed on the idea of stateless society. Class struggle. Gandhi didn't promote violence. It was Marx who promoted violence and class struggle. That is the working class trying to violently, through a revolution, throwing away the rich class. Abolition of private property. Again, abolition of private property is only the idea of Marx because Gandhi didn't say anything about abolition of private property. Economic determinism again is an implication of Marx ideology. Marx ideology was based on the observing that the society is based on certain economic relationships. So the answer is A, the final goal of a stateless society. Now let us look at the in-depth explanation. What's the view of both of them on state? Both of them were anarchists. Anarchism is a political ideology or a political theory which says that the abolition of the state power should happen so that the society itself organizes among themselves voluntarily based on cooperative needs. There should not be any government which will oppress the people. And Gandhi's view of anarchism was he wanted to promote the Gram Swaraj, like I said, the self-reliant villages. So ultimately, the villages can become Ramarajas. But Marx's view of state was different. He felt that the state or the government is a tool in the hands of the capitalist class, the bourgeoisie, to exploit the working class or the proletariat class. So he wanted a proletarian revolution, that is a worker revolution, to violently throw away the capitalist class. So that is what is encaptured in this class struggle point. Coming to private property, Marx wanted to abolish the private property, but Gandhi told and about the concept of trusteeship, where the rich people are holding the property as trustees. They are not owning the property. Even if they are owning the property, they have to act like trustees of that property and not like their own property, and use this wealth for the welfare of the people. So basically, you're a rich person, you have some property, but you should act like you're a trustee of that property and use that property for the welfare of the whole community. So Gandhi didn't talk about private property, but a positive use of the private property. And economic determinism is a theory which says that the social relationships and the social structure, everything is based on the economic factors. Only Marx believed it on it, whereas Gandhi emphasized more on the spiritual and moral aspects of shaping the society. So coming back to the question, class struggle, abolition of private property, economic determinism, all are related to only Marxism, whereas both of them wanted a stateless society, but they were having a different perspectives of what kind of stateless society they wanted. But both of them actually wanted a stateless society. So the correct answer is A.